What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video, and in this video I am going to break down how I made $2,800 in just a couple of minutes of trading on the S&P 500 and how you guys can literally replicate my strategy step by step. Now, before we get into that video, I've noticed that 81% of the people watching my videos aren't subscribed. So if you haven't hit that subscribe button, it would mean the world to me, and it just helps get the message out to more and more people. Also, I am on Instagram, so if you guys want to connect with me and just get to know me a little bit better, definitely shoot me a follow on there so we can stay better connected. Also, one last thing. If you guys want one-on-one mentorship and you want to scale to 10K a month like I've done with multiple of my students, like a student Ian, who just made $17,000 in 1 day trading, all you guys have to do is send me a message on Instagram, or you can go to the link in the description and book a call with me, and we'll just talk on that phone call to see where you're at as a trader and what you need help with. Now, without further ado, let's get on my computer and let's make some money. So I have been trading the S&P 500 pretty frequently. I'm not gonna lie, I really don't like the S&P 500 too much just because of the technical aspect. It seems to be a little choppy and all over the place, but lately the S&P 500 has been really nice. It's been treating me very well. Also, with the S&P 500, I do trade the Dow Jones and I trade NQ. But for this example and the trade that I took, this was a trade that I took on the S&P 500. So there's a couple of variables that go into this. I think one thing that's very important is knowing the assets to trade. We went over that. But secondly, the time frame. When I'm using my strategy, I am only on the 1 minute time frame. I don't use any of these other time frames. If I do go to the daily chart, it is simply just to go and see what trend we are in. So sometimes when I'm trading, I'll go to the daily chart and I'll look at the previous daily candle and I'll get a bias on what direction that we should most likely be going in, especially when we are looking at our current daily candle at the market open. It already had all the time from yesterday, the Asia session and the London session to kind of do what it wanted to do. So overall, the New York session is where that main move is going to come in. So if we have a bullish candle, we could expect if we saw a drop like it did here during the Asian London session, we could expect it to now push up during the New York session, which it did. We didn't have that big of a push on today's candle, but we still have a couple hours left in the market, 2 hours and 49 minutes till the market closes. But ideally, that's what I'm doing a lot of the time, is looking at the previous daily candle to give me a bias on what could happen for the present day. Back to the 1 minute chart. We went over the time frame. Now the next thing is the actual structure. You guys want to be looking at the market structure and you want to define, are we pushing up or are we pushing down? And it's very simple. All you need to do is look at the trend. Right at the market open, I saw we were in uptrend, so my immediate bias was in confluence with my daily time frame bias, and I was like, okay, we're definitely going long today. Like, I'm not looking for sells. I'm going to be looking to go long today. So after I went into that, and I saw that we were in an uptrend as I was looking at the market, now it kind of goes into the timing. So the time that I have been most focused on with my trading, and I think is a perfect window of time, is simply 9:30 a.m. EST to 10 a.m. EST. This window of time is where you're going to get the most volatility because the market open is at 9:30, and you're just going to see your trades play out a lot quicker than you would in the Asia or the London session. Now, you can use this strategy that I'm going to teach you all throughout any session, any asset class, any time frame. It will work across all spectrums, but when I trade, I'm trading at this specific window of time, 9:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. Also, you guys could trade from like 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m., 9:30 a.m. to 11 a.m., but anything after 11 a.m. I kind of like avoid. It just like kind of dies down. There's not as much volatility, and a lot of the trades are going to take a lot longer to play out, which isn't a bad thing at all because we are on the 1 minute time frame. So when I mean a lot longer, I mean probably like 20, 30 minutes, maybe an hour max longer. Now, what I'm looking for when I'm trading is a fair value gap, and it's very easy to identify this if you have this indicator, if you type in Lux Algo fair value gap right here, you will be able to see that we have these fair value gaps that print on our chart. Here's one, all these little boxes right here. So let me explain what a fair value gap is. This is a very good example on the trade that I went into. So actually, let's go into replay right here. So as I was looking at the markets, I was at the market open right here. And I saw all these candles just dropping, then pushing up, then dropping. I was like, okay, this is kind of like a shit show today. I don't know if I'm even going to trade, but I knew that a setup could possibly form. But I want you guys to understand something. You saw the profit on this video that was $2,800, and you saw other videos this week that had like $7,000 as the profit. Or even there's days where I've had like a $7,000 trade on just one trade that I've taken. And I want you guys to understand that when you are looking at the markets, you need to be very honest with yourself, and you need to really gauge your risk management. What are the levels of confidence that you're feeling as you are looking at these markets? Are you feeling very high levels of confidence, or are you feeling low levels of confidence? So as I was looking at the market, I have already pre-identified in my mind that I am not going to be risking a lot of my account today. Probably going to be risking like 1%, 0.5%. So when you guys can look at these markets and say, do you know what? My levels of confidence aren't high, but my setup is still there. You can kind of pull back your risk, because when you do have those trades that you look at and you're like, wow, this is my perfect setup. I feel that warm feeling inside my chest that this is a trade that I need to be looking for and taking. That's when you can risk a bit more. So you guys need to be able to kind of adjust, like, how are you feeling in that moment? Are you feeling high levels of confidence, low levels of confidence, and then adjust your risk accordingly. So as I was looking at this trade right here, I saw this fair value gap form, and I was like, okay, let's set up a position. What am I doing? I put my position right at the fair value gap right here. And I was expecting it to actually come back into the fair value gap pretty quickly after it formed. I thought after this candle would definitely hit it, but it didn't. It kind of like kept pushing up and down for a minute. So I actually set a pending order. And if you guys go and put a position on your chart, long or short, and it's like this, and you right click, you can go to, let me actually do it without the replay. It won't do it on the replay. But if I were to go and put a position right here, sell, I could then right click, create limit order, and then it will already have all my parameters set for that trade, and I could click sell right there. And then a sell limit would be activated and on my chart. So it's pretty cool that you guys have that ability to be able to enter into a trade very, very quickly. That's what I did this morning. So that's how I ended up taking this trade. I saw this fair value gap, put my buy limit right at the entry, the top of the fair value gap. My stop loss was right below the first candle that made the fair value gap right here. But since we had this candle with a lower low, right here, look at the wick, how it went deeper than it did right here. I simply just had my stop loss right at that candle's wick right there. So if it did want to retest a little, I would be good. Eventually, after I actually set this limit order, and usually, like I said, listen guys, listen very, very closely. A fair value gap, it consists of 3 candles. We have the first candle, second candle, and the third candle. Usually the 4th, 5th, or 6th candle I like to see come into the fair value gap, give me my entry, and then I want it to push away. You guys can see after the fair value gap, it took 23 minutes or 23 candles to retrade back into that fair value gap. So I did have my pending order set and I just let it be. But all this time that I had my trade set, I wasn't like staring at the markets. I was doing other stuff on my computer. And then eventually it came down, hit my buy limit, and then pushed up. And you guys can see within what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Within 9 minutes, it went and hit my TP. So ideally, I wasn't sitting here for all this time from 9:30 the market open to what, 10:02 for 30 minutes. I was doing my work on my computer and getting ready for the day. And I just let the markets do their thing. Once it hit my limit order, I didn't care. I was looking at other stuff and then eventually hit my TP. So this is literally the breakdown on how I took this trade, guys. And if you are new to my channel, I would recommend going through my previous videos that I have uploaded recently, and they go more in depth with my strategy. I feel like every video, if you go watch every video that I make, you'll learn just one or two things that you didn't know the previous time around. Guys, I will talk to you later. Hope you guys have a good weekend. Peace out. Not a lot of people made it to the end of the video, but you did. Make sure you share this video with a friend. Also, comment below. I want to know who you guys are and how I can help you guys out with your trading. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, hit that subscribe button. I'm dropping weekly videos every single week on trading to help you guys out. Look forward to seeing you guys soon.